Newt Gingrich just went on live TV and told the truth about ending Daca. We all know that Newt Gingrich is one of the honest men. He always supports our president's decision, according to who? On Tuesday, Newt Gingrich praised Trump for showing real leadership by rescinding Obama's Dreamer program. This is one of the best examples of real leadership that we've seen from President Trump, Gingrich said during an appearance on Fox and Friends. He campaigned last year on the fact that President Obama's executive order was unconstitutional, he said. Let's just take a quick listen here.
Here's President Trump's latest tweet, just came in. I'll share it with you. Oh, listen up. I am allowing Japan and South Korea to buy a substantially increased amount of highly sophisticated military equipment from the United States. Yeah. And I know that was a request from South Korea because they want to maybe lift the missile ban, the amount of missiles in their country.
It's something that we've been talking about all morning long. We want to bring in now Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the House and, of course, a Fox News contributor and author of Understanding Trump. When you think about dealing with China and what is going to be most threatening to them, it's not necessarily sanctions, Speaker. It's losing dominance in that region, and nothing speaks losing dominance and building up the military of places like Japan and South Korea.
Well, the Chinese, I think, are in a real box now because, on the one hand, they're the primary sponsors of the North Korean dictatorship. If they were to pull all of their support, it probably would be in real risk of collapse. But they also know that they don't understand how Kim Jong-un and his power structure works, and they don't know if pulling out all those support means, for example, that he would launch a war. There's no evidence right now that he would necessarily surrender or give in or become reasonable. And I think the Chinese are very worried about the next steps, and they're watching South Korea and Japan begin to arm in a serious way, and that will affect the Chinese range of activities. And I think they probably are faced with decisions at least as big as those President Trump faces.
Sure, and the story out this morning is apparently South Korea, intel says that North Korea is starting to build up. Sounds like they're about to pop off another missile. Mr. Speaker, another item we wanted to talk to you about is something else that the President tweeted out about an hour ago. He said, Congress, get ready to do your job, Daca. And what he's talking about is at 11 o'clock this morning, the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, is going to come out and he's going to reveal the President's plan to phase out Daca and say instead, because it's unconstitutional, hey, Congress, you got 6 months. If you want to do something, do something. What do you think about this plan he's got?
I think this is one of the best examples of real leadership that we've seen from President Trump. He campaigned last year on the fact that President Obama's executive order was unconstitutional. His vice president, as governor of Indiana, authorized his attorney general to file a lawsuit saying it was unconstitutional. Every one of the president's major legal advisors said it was unconstitutional. But he also knew that to arbitrarily stop it would put 800,000 people at risk who came here as children, who really, in many cases, had no other country in their experience than the United States. And so I think he's come up with a very powerful model. Congress, which did not want him to roll back arbitrarily, Congress now has to do its job. And this should be doable. It shouldn't be that hard. Lindsey Graham, for example, has a pretty good bill in already that would allow Daca to be codified by Congress, which would meet the conservative constitutional objectives to an executive order, would allow the dreamers to stay in the U.S. without risk. And I think it's actually real leadership on President Trump's part to find a path that allows him to both protect the dreamers and enforce the Constitution simultaneously.
Well, I mean, a lot of people say, we just heard a speculative with Chris Kobach, hey, listen, the rules are the rules. You ran one way, stick with it. And what about the other people waiting to get in from Kenya and Cuba? Don't they matter? They waited in line, did things the right way. Their parents didn't. Do you understand the other side of that argument?
Sure, but I also know that in the American tradition and in the Anglo-Saxon tradition, there are certain cold, hard facts. So there are 800,000 people here right now. The vast majority of them came because their parents brought them. In many, many cases, they literally know no other country. So there's a factual question. Are you prepared to cause huge pain to 800,000 people over a theoretical principle? What Trump has said is he's going to enforce the Constitution. That keeps his campaign promise. But he's going to give Congress the opportunity to fix it so it won't be unconstitutional.
Real quick,
I think that's a
how about tying the wall to that?
Very practical approach.
Would you tie the wall to that?
I would not make 800,000 people hostages. I would say, let's fix that and let's fix the wall. They're both doable, but I wouldn't want to diminish 800,000 people's lives into being a poker chip in a negotiating game.
Yeah. Can Congress do this in 6 months?
Congress could do it in 3 weeks if they focus.
Right?
Jim, this is just steady order. We have a bill that I've been working on with several people that is a clean modification that says here's how to do it. Lindsey Graham has a bill. There's a bill in the House. It's not a technical problem. It's a question of getting in a room, finding the votes, picking one vehicle. You could put it on the continuing resolution. You could put it up as a freestanding bill. There are a lot of ways to get it done, and they should get it done.
And of course, it would be very revealing about how some Republicans that you wondered how they felt about immigration, now their hand will be revealed. Aha. Thanks, Newt Gingrich.
Well, and they got to face this is the worst case, by the way, because it is relatively innocent people who have been living in America for a long time.
That's
right. Or the easiest.
It's a tough one. All right, it's good to have you here. We'll see what happens.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Congress does nothing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.